Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of StartPack Founder Talks. And today, I'm joined by a very special guest who is actually based in Sri Lanka. So hope it's not too late there for you right now, but pleasure to have you on and really excited to learn more about yourself and your company.
Thank you, Arjun. I feel the same way. It's a pleasure to be on this with you.
Awesome. Well, let's start off very simple. Could you just share a little bit about who you are, what's your name, and tell everyone what your company is and what you do?
Sure. My name is Mazeer, and I've been in the healthcare finance and healthcare financial technology space for the last 16 years. And I've started 7 companies in the past. This is my 8th company. And
wow,
I'm really glad that I was able to find StartPack and to start my own venture. And it has been fantastic working with you and your team. And I look forward to us continuing to work together in our future engagements as well.
Great. Well, wow, I actually did not know this is your 8th company. I guess by certain standards or definitions, that would make you a serial entrepreneur. What were you doing before you started your current venture? And what made you decide to start not your first venture, but your 8th venture? Could you talk us through that a little bit?
Yes, I started working very early in my life. My first job was when I was 17. And that was a fantastic experience. I worked for Domino's Pizza. I was taking the phone calls for the orders, as well as, whenever time permits, I was also very eager to go back to the kitchen and toss some pizza dough, make some pizzas. I've also had the opportunity to be a part of certain deliveries, and it was fantastic meeting new people, getting huge tips. That meant a lot back then. And since then, I've always wanted to, be a part of I've always wondered what the life of an entrepreneur is like, people who create jobs. And while I continue to work for some very great influential people who guided me along, I've also had the opportunity to start small ventures of my own. I have businesses in the food and beverage industry. My wife is a baker. We also have an online cookery for little kids. It's called The Little Kitchen. It's an online lesson. We also have a kitchen which specializes in chocolate fudge. We also have a technology company that uses BI tools such as ClickView, ClickSense, and Tableau that has made business intelligence way more simple right now. Instead of having a lot of BI people who are pulling large chunks of data from databases, these tools have enabled us to connect directly to these databases and pull out the information that we need and to provide or present those information in a simplified way that makes it easy for business owners to make decisions. So that's a company that I've started. And also my most recent venture was in a workflow management system. It was based on a very old but a powerful foundation called RASI, RASCI. And we use those fundamentals to create a software around it that can be used for businesses in any industry, where it helps delegate responsibility across large groups of people in organizations and hold them accountable to it. And in this particular venture, kind of going back to my roots that's 16 years old in the healthcare revenue cycle management. And we are using artificial intelligence as well as machine learning to automate workflow, as well as create interoperability between many systems in the healthcare space, from EMR systems to billing systems and so on. So this is my latest venture, and I'm very excited about it. And this is what I'm doing 100% of my time.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you've gone from, first of all, I do love Domino's Pizza. I love their Domino's Cinesticks. I'm a big fan. Food tech, business intelligence software, and now machine learning technology in healthcare tech. So it sounds like you've really worked in many different industries and have many different areas of expertise there. Let's, if you can we peel back the curtain on before you were about to start, and how do you pronounce the name of your company correctly?
AuroraRCM. Aurora is
AuroraRCM.
Yeah, Aurora is the Latin mythical goddess of dawn. She resonates, light, that savior of the dark, and also new possibilities.
Love it. AuroraRCM, new possibilities. Before you were starting this company, you had the idea, you had the insight. What made you decide, okay, I want to actually create a US LLC business? Could you sort of walk me through your thought process there?
A lot of people in Sri Lanka, as well as in India, Philippines, and Pakistan, and in a lot of places, people have opened businesses in the US and have been successful. And I've been lucky to have been a part of some of these industries in my career. So the idea for RCM has been around for about 2 years. And like all ideas, you need to give it some time for you to know whether this is really gonna stick. Number one, whether you truly believe it in yourself. Right? Ideas sometimes are commodities. Execution is not. And once you've spent enough time with an idea to know that okay, this is really got you interested in it, then it's definitely worth a shot. Otherwise, you will not know it for yourself. So just along those lines, once the idea of an AI-enabled healthcare finance system did seem very possible and it seemed much needed. So I put everything I've got into it. I found some very good partners to work with, some really talented people in the space of AI and software engineering. So we had everything that we needed to give it a shot. So we just went straight in.
I love what you said there. Ideas can sometimes be commodities, but execution is not. And it sounds like you've surrounded yourself with a talented team who can really take an idea and execute on it and deliver a solution and product to the world. How did you, in that process, decide, okay, it took some time, 2 years, have an idea, okay, we think we are the team that can actually execute and deliver this too. At that point, what was the process like for you and your team to find StartPack? Were you evaluating other options? How did you end up deciding to form your US company? And what was the process like to find us in the first place?
Well, in all my previous ventures, I've always had the guidance of lawyers as well as companies that I've worked for who took care of things of this nature. We've had ups and downs. We've had challenges with the people who helping us get our paperwork done when it comes to the legal formalities of doing business. And just like any startup, it's not just about the initial paperwork you file to get your license. It's also about finding the partner who can continue to put up with the ongoing demands of doing business. For example, you might start a business with yourself, and few months, years into it, you might decide that you should bring in other people, either to raise more capital or to bring in the right type of talent to be a part of your company. At that point, a lot of amendments will be continuously needed to file for paperwork. And I was looking for a partner who was responsive, number one, and who had that ability, the flexibility to, accommodate the rapid changes that any business will need, from starting to maybe all the way up to IPOs. Multiple owners could come and go. the ownership is going to change. So I was looking for someone who was flexible enough to accommodate all of this. And when I went through the StartPack website, it was very interactive. It kind of gave me a step-by-step guideline on what is required. It also made some recommendations on which state I should incorporate in. That just showed me that, you know, this was a website that had done its research. Instead of asking me where I want to incorporate in, it made give me some recommendations. It recommended 2 states that I had already researched and shortlisted myself. So when I saw the website make those recommendations, I thought these people know what they're talking about, and that was how I found StartPack.
Wow, and I like what you said, and this is definitely what we strive to do. Is we're not about just helping you get set up and then forgetting about you or one conversation. We really try to be long-term partners with whoever we work with. And honestly, I wouldn't bet against the year 2, year 3, IPO, changes in ownership, whatever it might be. It's been awesome just to see the progress that you've made so far, even just on your website. And let me ask you one more question here. You did your research, I could tell, and you did your research around formation and options going forward, what would be needed for the business. Were you ever worried that StartPack was a scam? Or how did you end up deciding that you could trust StartPack?
I've had my fair share of being a victim of spam in the past. So I have I have a certain recollection of, you know, what those pitfalls look like. So my recent encounter with spam was about a year ago when I got a message from Huawei saying that I have to take a few steps and I'm going to win a new equipment from Huawei. And I checked the website and it did to say www.huawei. You know, and it was my phone and I couldn't read the rest of it. And I fell for it and I shared that link with all my friends just like it asked me to. And I really thought I won something. And then one of my friends came back and told me, did you notice that after the .com, it also had the something else? I was like, no idea. So as a victim of the past, I have a certain recollection of how these spam sites work. So I did not see any such recollection with StartPack. So I'm glad I had certain beta experiences from the past that kind of helped me make the right decision here. So yeah, at no point did I ever feel like StartPack was a scam.
Well, I'm sorry about that experience, but it sounds like you've developed quite a good spam filter. I guess you learn from your mistakes, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Awesome. Question for you, which I think will be very relevant to many people out there, current entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. You've started 8 ventures. This is your 8th venture. What advice do you have for someone out there who is either working on a venture or thinking about starting a venture? And I'll make it a little more challenging too. This advice can only fit on a billboard on the highway, so you don't have too much text or too much space to write. What piece of single advice would you give to aspiring or current entrepreneurs out there?
Find partners and investors that you can comfortably fail with.
Find partners and investors that, and what was the last thing you said?
That you are comfortable failing with.
Find partners and investors that you are comfortable failing with. Tell me more about the second half of that sentence.
Because not all ventures are going to go to plan. And even the ventures that go to plan go through a lot of ups and downs before you make it. So if you are always second guessing what your partners are thinking about you and what your investors are thinking about you, you will not have the freedom to make some bold decisions or take some risks that have to be taken. So if you are working with people who are not gonna support you through some of those failures, you'll be limited in the amount of risks that you can take. So in all my startups, I never met my financial goals the first time the way I said it. So that has brought me to my 8th venture, knowing that I'm very likely going to fail. But I am very humbled, and I'm glad to be surrounded by partners and investors who will share, who have in the past shared those failures and successes with me, and who will continue to do that with me. So as a result, I have the strength to make some bold decisions, and I'm not afraid to fail. Even if I do, I know I'll keep moving on. So I think that's an important part for anybody who's planning to start a venture of their own.
I really like that. And it reminds me of two sayings. One I've heard is people sometimes say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I think the destination is important, and having goals and wanting to succeed is, but I think what you said really highlights the journey and progress is never linear. If it was, it would be pretty easy to do many things, I think. But realistically, the highs are high and the lows are really low. And
That's right.
It sounds like having the right team and the right partners and the right investors to support you and cheer you on at the highs, but also pick you up and encourage you at the lows is the most important thing. And I think it sounds like you've really learned that over the course of your multiple ventures.
I'm glad that I have an opportunity to share some of these learnings with people who might find it useful.
Love it. Well, let's finish off with this. I know there's probably a lot of exciting things in store for AuroraRCM, but looking forward to 2021, can you share maybe what you're most excited about? And for anyone out there, is there anything you'd like to share about the company, about exciting things coming in the future?
AuroraRCM has a few exciting things that we've planned to introduce to the healthcare finance and healthcare technology industry, and we're very excited about that, but no spoilers yet. However, for everybody in 2021, the biggest news that excites me is that we have developed a vaccine in half the time that was ever imagined to be possible. Pfizer and BioNTech and all of the other companies that have strived to accomplish this, I'm so proud of them, and I'm proud that we're as much as 2020 till now has been a difficult time for all of us. I am proud that we have the best of us who are geared up and who have shown that, at a time of need, that the best of us will step up and do what is necessary to show some amazing results. And apart from these companies developing the vaccines, the courage that people have to try these vaccines, nobody has backed off. People are trying them, and they are moving forward. We are resilient, and we are moving forward. I think that supersedes any company. It's a fact of humanity that is phenomenal, and for decades to come, people will talk about these accomplishments. And I'm proud that I'm living into a time where I could experience some of these myself.
I totally agree. And I think 2020 sure was a whirlwind. 2021 might have the same in store, but I'm really excited to see what AuroraRCM delivers this year. And unfortunately, I guess for me, myself, and to the listeners, no spoilers, but maybe towards the end of this year or later this year, when things are public and live, we can hop on another call and you can share more about what's been in the works.
I'll be happy to, Arjun. It's been fantastic working with you and StartPack.
Awesome. Well, hey, Mazeer, thank you so much. I know you are super busy. Maybe you're about to get off this call and Venture 9 is in the works, but I'll be sure to share links with the website and other things you mentioned. And it was an absolute pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you. Likewise, Arjun. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a good one, my friend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.